bright and early today. We're going to say goodbye to the Garrandarragh Inn. Very quiet around here, although it's just off the motorway. I think it's the M9. So, great location. And I'll give my review of this hotel in a few seconds. I'm forgetting to put in the destination, so best do that first. Got all my day 3 things here, so let's have a quick look. Cobh, Cork, Bantry, Maidenhead Signal Station is optional, but given that we're making a nice early start, it might be feasible. We'll keep an eye on the clock. And then the hotel is the Klondyke House B&B in Waterville, right on the western coast of Ireland somewhere. So let's put our very first postcode in here. Cobh. Well, so let's sally forth on our trusty steed and try and make sure we don't pick up a nail or a screw from the car park. Farewell, Garrandarragh. 5 or 6 out of 10 I would give that one. Wasn't a bad place. What's nice is, as you'll see here, you've got the rising sun right next door, which is all part of the same building. So the inn and the pub adjacent, which means that as long as you arrive before, I think it's 8:30, you're pretty much, you're guaranteed to get a nice hot meal with this one. So that's one major plus. Actually, the room, I might be veering more towards a 6 because the room was really nice and clean, although the toilet wasn't completely clean when I first entered the room. But on the whole, the room was nice and clean, so let's maybe give it a 6. It's just the place itself has a little bit of a slightly shabby air to it, but they had like a wood-fired pizza oven there, and I saw that and I thought, when I went down for the food, I thought, because I'd seen the pizza oven in action, I thought, I fancy me a pizza. Ended up getting a Diavolo pizza, which was really nice, and my first taste of genuine Irish Guinness. They say it tastes really different. Maybe I was that tired that I didn't really notice. Think about it, it was quite a journey yesterday from just outside Pembroke all the way up the Pembrokeshire coast on the ferry. 3.5 hours on the ferry, off the ferry, another hour. So it was a very, very full day, but very enjoyable. Got talking to people on the ferry. So far my experience of Ireland has been good. It's been a positive one. But yeah, I was saying, I was perhaps too tired to recognise that the Guinness was that much different to Guinness in the UK. So I'll have to perhaps try a few more. They say the water's softer here, and that's why the Guinness tastes better. So yeah, so we're just on a motorway here, the M9, and I guess we're heading sort of south and westwards ish. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing this Irish Odyssey today. Exiting 5 miles. I think at that point I'll switch the audio off. That would be all good there. It's a little bit nippy here in Ireland. It's colder than the UK, and I've no doubt that it will warm up, but first thing in the morning is just a little bit, it's got a bit of an edge to it. And I did get rained on a tiny bit yesterday on the way here, but as you can see this morning, it's a clear blue sky and not predicted to rain, judging by what the guys on the ferry were saying when I was chatting to them. So it's quite interesting. I got chatting with some bikers, the Viking motorcycle crew, who were joined by some of their chapter from France and some of the UK guys, and they were all sort of traipsing onto the ferry with their patches and their leathers. And but one of the UK Vikings was a really friendly guy. He looked and talked like Lemmy. I told him, I said, "You look like Lemmy." He said, "Why? You think I'm a pisshead?" But he was really friendly, and so we asked him if the Vikings were a 1%er gang, and apparently they are. So this maybe image of them being standoffish, not quite true. This guy was chatted to me several times before we got on the ferry. When he wasn't wearing his patch, he just had his t-shirt on, so I hadn't clocked who he was. Then on the ferry he was wearing his patch with his French buddies, and 2-3 times I spoke to him when I came out on the deck. That was my first experience as well of taking a motorcycle on a ferry, which was awesome. Ever so easy. A bit of waiting around because I'm the type of person that likes to get everywhere early, so what will happen is you go right to the front of the queue, but then you have to wait for an hour before they let you board. But it was okay because there's a duty-free shop there, and I got a couple of whiskey miniatures, and also got like a bite to eat and a drink. So the hour, I read a bit of my book as well, so that hour went by quite quick, to be fair. Another thing about the Garrandarragh, just switching back there for a moment, is the Wi-Fi was terrible. I did some video editing late last night, and I realised it was already that it was flaky. So I finished the video, started uploading it to YouTube, and went to sleep, hoping that it might have completed in the morning, but it was only on 42% when I left the hotel this morning, so I had to interrupt the upload. So hopefully the internet will be a bit better on the hotel we're going to. This is why I've got a external hard drive with me, because problems like this, if you can't clear the files off your laptop, they start to run out of storage. So yeah, so I've copied them onto the external drive in case I'm unable to upload at the next place. I think the next place, it's called the Klondyke, and it might be a little bit more rugged than where I've just been. I don't know, because where I've been was relatively, for what it was a little bit on the pricey side. The Klondyke is cheap, I think, if I remember, so I don't know if that means cheap and cheerful. Anyway, it's a bed for the night, and I've also got a like a sleeping bag sheet that I can slide into, so if anything, and I used that in India years ago. If anything gets too rough, I don't actually have to sleep under the sheets. Right, so we're going to exit this M9 now and get on the N25, it seems, towards Cork. I can see it signposted. I'm going to see if I can pull over and just switch the cameras off for a bit. If I get a parking area. I don't know if I'll be going over that bridge today.
Mary, you wanna make with me, it's alright. And every single very sweet moment we can dance in the light. I can feel a rhythm in me, you give me something to trace. Ever moving, ever soothing, ever choosing love in life's way. For life celebrates. Revolutions are always the outcome of bend. Love in a moment, beginning to end. Well, the point is the same. Beyond every dark night and can notice every morning come. And the light I can see forever, all times one. Money you want to spend on me, it's alright. I'm worth every penny and I don't need very many for light. It has been so easy for me to see the easiest way to ever loving, ever